What's going on, everyone? Nick from Comic Culture here. Time for Nick at Night, my weekly comic book review show. Let's get into the books I read this week. Starting over in Marvel, we have JMS and Will Robson on Doctor Doom and Rocket Raccoon issue number 1. I didn't know what I was going to get into with this book, but it was a lot of fun to read this one. Some of the voices, maybe Doctor Doom's voice just maybe isn't quite there, but Rocket's is for sure. They have to team up. Why do they have to team up? Well, Doctor Doom knows the magic behind everything, but not necessarily the science and technology behind things. He's building a time machine right now, trying to answer a really existential question for himself, for the universe and everything. So he needs to team up with Rocket in order to do that. Really, really funny premise, I would say. The interaction between them is really cool. I don't know if I got the point necessarily at the end of the book, but it was a fun journey seeing them trying to team up and figure some stuff out, all the banter back and forth. That's why you get this book. Not the message at the end, but the banter between the two of them. So I think they knocked that out. Dr. Doom, Rocket Raccoon issue number 1, just a fun comic. Let me know if you read it. Next up from Marvel is Phoenix issue number 7. Interesting title right here. I've liked the journey that we've been on with Phoenix so far. Thanos has a new artifact that he's able to impose his will across the galaxy with. And so Phoenix is on to this game right now. So she has to team up with a lot of great other cosmic heroes to take on this threat. Not only to take on Thanos, but to take on the Black Order as well, which would be bad enough. But there's also a new character they introduced in the first couple of issues in here, which, to be honest with you, I wish they maintained that character through these issues and made her more of a staple in this run so far. They kind of introduced her and abandoned her and touch base every once in a while. I would have loved to see her grow and mature a little bit more. She's used inside this issue, maybe not as much as I would hope for. But with that said, there's a lot of great coloring in here, a lot of great art as well. So it's a fun story, but it's kind of throwaway-ish, to be honest with you. I'd rather really have seen the maturity of this brand new character who's on this revenge arc right now get this kind of a power and really abuse it. I think that would have been really cool to play that out a little bit more and kind of turn her and maybe, make that character useful for other stories in the future. Who knows? Phoenix number 7 is out this week. Let me know if you read it. Let me know your thoughts. All right, next up from Marvel is Wolverine's Revenge issue number 4. Hickman on this one, Capullo as well. I don't know if this is meeting the expectations of the readers at this point. I think we were expecting something a little bit more, a little bit more meat on the bone when it comes to a story like this. Essentially, a bunch of villains got together. They took out a lot of Wolverine's friends in the first issue or so, and every issue he's getting revenge on all those people that were involved in all of that. This one does a lot of time jumpy stuff. We've already taken out a lot of the people that he needed to. Sabretooth he's keeping alive. And he's, coming back every year and doing that whole bit with him, depowering him, kind of torturing him, giving him justice that he deserves in this issue. There's some new characters in here, some new clones of the original baddies that, started this whole thing that they're brought up inside this issue. And they don't know who Wolverine necessarily is, but they have the memories or the stories that Sabretooth has given them, and they want to just basically take him out. Now's the time to get revenge on him killing our fathers, essentially. So we get this little epic battle in here where they all take on Wolverine at the same time. Again, they don't know who he is and how well equipped he is and everything, and that leads to an ultimate bloodbath. But there's still some redeeming qualities, I think, in this story. I do want to know what the ending is. It might be pretty obvious, but who knows? Maybe there's a couple twists in here we haven't figured out yet. Capullo's art is not what I'm used to. It's not to the standard, I would say, that we all know and love from him as well. So this book is firing on maybe 70% of these creators' potential, I think. Maybe even less. I don't know. What do you guys think? Down below. On the other hand, Hickman is also writing Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 13. What a great issue this was. There's a vibe that Capullo has in his artwork. There's a mood and atmosphere that he can project on the page. And it's just coming right off the page, and I absolutely love it. The coloring and everything in here is great. The scenery, the compositions, the paneling, everything is so great. Wilson's doing a wonderful job as well. So many cool things happening in here. There's a cliffhanger at the end of the last holiday issue. Our guys were captured. Who were they captured by? Kraven the Hunter. But there's a really cool scenario that Kraven wants to put them in to have the ultimate hunt. And he's relying on a bunch of people from the Savage World and Mole Man and everybody like that. Mysterio is in this book as well, touching base with the guys. And we get an idea of what Kraven is up to and the game that he wants to present Harry and Peter in this issue, and it kicks off right here. But again, this book is all about mood, it's about vibe, it's about attitude, and this book certainly has a lot of that in here. Really excited to see our boys trying to go on the run in the Savage Land, also being hunted down by Kraven and whatnot. It's going to be really cool, I think, and this was just a great issue. I loved every minute of this one. We had Velociraptors and stuff. I love this one. Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 13 is out. Let me know if you read it. Jumping over to DC, we have Detective Comics 1093 from Tom Taylor. So this one was kind of interesting because we're still dealing with a Batman who's wearing down, right? And he's fallen into a trap where he's taking this medicine to boost his skills. He doesn't feel the aches and pains anymore. He's hitting a little harder. He's a little bit faster. It's reversing his age in a way. He's still trying to like figure out the chemical balance between all this and like who are the real key players and the motives behind this whole team. There's some past relationships that he's exploring too, and we're getting some flashbacks and whatnot, and it's all connected with this company who's creating this medicine. The little other plot though is there's this new villain around that's killing all these young children, and so the whole Bat family is engaged right now trying to round up all these different people. They kind of figured out the pattern. They're rounding them up right now, trying to give them some kind of like witness protection in a way, and so that's what's going on in here. Pretty shocking things happen at the end of this one. There's some secrets that get revealed, things like that we're gonna have to figure out later. And yeah, it's been a decent run so far. I'm just anxious to see like, what is Batman going to do now that he has this medication inside of him? Is this something that's going to be a long-term thing? Who knows, right? What are the bad guys going to do with this information they just found? Who knows? We're going to figure it out in later issues of Detective Comics. Let me know if you're reading it. Next up is Wonder Woman issue number 17. Another great issue of Wonder Woman here, to be honest with you. So basically, we have Diana still just chilling on maternity leave right now, while the other Wonder Women go around and just completely kick some ass right here. They all kind of divide up. They take on the supervillains that are protecting our dude right here, and they're like systematically destroying them. And the whole commentary is kind of beautiful. Like single-handedly, all these women are very dangerous, but maybe not up to the challenge individually that they're under right now. But to collectively combined, they have this way of just working together, this like synchronicity that they just achieve naturally when they work together. And that is all outlined inside the issue. So it's very cool. It's very poetic in a way. So I did like that whole narrative in here. Artwork is still incredible inside this book. Coloring is still beautiful and everything. So, you know, from a visual perspective, it's all really breathtaking. And so I think they're doing a great job there. But, you know, 17 issues. How much longer is this going to go on? I have no idea. They're getting to the point now where there's not much left they can take away from this guy. They've destroyed him financially, on social media, things like that. I think he's retreated back to his like final place right now. And there's going to be some kind of an epic battle or not very, very soon. So I'm wondering how many issues are left on this one. I can't remember from the solicitations. We're on issue number 17 though. Let me know what you're thinking of it. All right, let's stick with Wonder Woman right now with Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 4. Holy crap, this was a spectacular issue. Loved this one. I like the ties to dark magic that this Diana has, and I just love the fact that Cersei has everything to do with that, and we get a little bit more of her background as well, and to the people that like she reports to, that pantheon of like the gods or demons or whatever inside this universe. I really love all of that, seeing that all break down. And what do we do with this dark magic in here? Well, we regenerate ourselves with the aid of some people locally, just to kind of like get our arms back, get our strength back, take on this huge giant kaiju that's threatening the entire city right now. I love the banter between her and the different people she has to meet to like gather these different ingredients together, these witches inside of the world. Really, really cool, very dramatic scene. But the second half of this book, when Diana's finally taking on that monster, getting her strength together, getting her weapons together. Holy crap. I've never seen anything like that in comics before, the kind of weapon that she wields inside the end of this book and what she actually does with this monster. It's incredible. And this is the issue too, where they kind of plant the seeds as to like where this might go after this. She slays the monster. Great. What does she have to look forward to, or what does she have to go up against in the subsequent issues? I think we got the hints of that towards the end of this book as well. Incredible job by the writing team and art and everything. Definitely check this one out if you haven't yet. All right, let's see what the Justice League are up to with Justice League Unlimited issue number 3. So again, they have this Watchtower configuration now where pretty much everyone's a member of the Justice League, and they respond in kind to all these different threats all over. The threat here is the whole entire Amazon rainforest is on fire. How timely, right? With the LA fires and whatnot. But they have to put together the right combination of heroes to go in there and figure it out. They realize very quickly that it's a magical source, right? The fire's coming from this one spot, has some magical influence to it. So we got to bring some of the magic users in here, Zatanna, Mr. Occult, and things like that. And they realize like the truth behind this and who's actually behind all of these events and whatnot. There are moments in here too where we're touching base with the Project Adam, I think it was called, where the guys are going around trying to make sure the powers that have gone back to the heroes are in the right bodies. There's some swaps between like Plastic Man and whatnot and some other folks. And so they're trying to like bring powers back to the different people, just kind of touching base on those folks as well. But I think the really cool, interesting part part here is, since the rainforest is on fire, man, what does the Green think of this? We have a return of Levi inside this book, and his conversation with Aquaman is incredible in here and what's going on. Very dramatic, lots of emotion and whatnot in here. I was like actually afraid for these characters in this book. So, you know, props to the team for doing some amazing stuff on here. Mora, of course, is amazing. Von Villain's doing a great job. Wade killing it with this one. Let me know if you're reading it. Let's check out Giant Generator Tin Can Society issue number 5. Great issue here. The team dynamics, the friendships in this book that have been outlined for us issue to issue is what makes this book so special. In this issue here, they're teaming up because they actually found out who killed their friend in a way. They've narrowed down their location, and now they're going to go on the offensive and just take this dude out. But there's some twists and turns. We don't exactly know all the ins and outs of this villain just yet. We know their backstory and everything. Not sure if you remember their motive or who else they're teaming up with necessarily. But it's a real emotional scene when it all comes together. Our team is going in locked and loaded. They think they understand what's going on. They think they know who's to blame, but there's more going on than we know right now. There's a big mystery and an ultimate sacrifice, really, in this issue on the villain side. So there's a lot of things going on in here. 4 more issues to go, which I think is good for how this book is being paced out. Really excited to see how this whole series ends up. If you haven't been reading Tin Can Society, definitely check it out. Pick up the trades or whatever when it's finally completed. It's been a really good ride so far. Issue number 5 is out. Let me know if you read it. Going over to Ghost Machine, we have Hyde Street issue number 3 out this week, man. This is just a great book. It feels like it's a month off because it's focused on Christmas time and like there's a Santa Claus and whatnot. But still, even out of season, this book is incredible. Focuses on this really bad dude who's going around. He stole a Santa outfit, I think, from some father or something after he stole their presents and broke into the house on Christmas Eve. Now he's doing that same thing all over the place. Our little Boy Scout demon dude over here, he gets hot on his trail and brings in X-Ray guy over here as well. And dude, they're just kind of hunting this dude down and doing all kinds of crazy stuff right there. On the art side, we have Danny Mackay, I believe it's how you pronounce it, and Brad Anderson. They're doing such a good job of painting these different sceneries and all these different characters and whatnot, and just keeping it really interesting. Just so many things to look at on these panels. They're doing such a great job of just keeping me glued to these books and just wanting more and more in every single issue. We actually get introduced to a new person on Hyde Street, a new demon that's playing the game right now. We get introduced to them towards the end of this book, and so now we have somebody else to worry about. So that's pretty cool. But with all that said, man, this is such a great book. I'm loving the character of Pranky in this entire like Hyde Street universe. So much fun to read this one. Let me know if you are down below. Sticking with Image Comics, we have Void Rivals issue number 16 right here from Robert Kirkman. I think this is the issue that's going to start bringing together some of the other elements from the other titles. Think Cobra Commander and G.I. Joe and Transformers and whatnot. A character that we've seen in several of these issues right now. Not a main character, but a character that we've seen a lot of. Goes up against a new force for this title, which is pretty cool. We're also touching base with Derek and having some conversations with people that are in the know about maybe like the wedge that's been forced between the two cultures right here. So that's kind of fun to play out and see what's going on as well. Then we have Salila as well going on this journey with her new hand droid, trying to find this like ultimate power source or this information, right? So we get to see what happens there, and we get some more cool discoveries inside the end of this book. So I'm really excited to see like where that goes and where that amounts to. But again, I'm having a hard time trying to place this book in a timeline. So down below, let me know if you know like when this takes place compared to say G.I. Joe or Transformers or something like that. You know, is this like at the same time, but like, you know, space is weird. And so like there's a dilation thing going on. Is this 100 years in the future, or a million years in the future, in the past? Like where are we right now in the timeline? Let me know down below in the comments. But yeah, Void Rivals number 16. I like this one a lot more than a lot of the other previous ones that have come out recently. So let me know if you're reading this one down below. Let's wrap it up with IDW. Tom Scioli's Godzilla's Masterpiece Theater issue number 3. This book is so much freaking fun. You've got to be reading this one if you're not, man. It's wrapping up with this issue here, if I'm not mistaken. Cool ending as well. You get to kind of use your imagination as to like where this is going to go, but a hell of a journey all the way through here. Not only is Godzilla like rampaging the world right now, we have this insane group of people trying to keep up with them. Everywhere from like the Great Gatsby. We have the Time Machinist. We have Sherlock Holmes. We have Jules Verne. We have all these different people teaming up to like take out this threat. It's absolutely incredible. The story itself is told in this like nostalgic way, right? Like he gives you enough information to really follow the story and put all the pieces together. But there's like some, I don't know, there's some jumps and things like that happen. Like the pacing, he actually alters to make it feel like an older book in a very modern way. Absolutely incredible. This is almost the pick of the week just based on the first page alone, because what he sets up on that first page is just incredible and it plays through the entire thing. Let's get the Mummy involved, right? Godzilla's going all over the world, disrupting everything. So what happens when he crashes and like opens up the seal of the Mummy? He has to get revenge and take out the people that disturbed his slumber. Well, what happens if that was Godzilla? Like, it's incredible. We have some werewolf stuff, we have Dracula, we have all these different beasts inside of here. It was just such a good time. And again, that artwork, very Kirby influenced, of course, trying to pull out some of that nostalgic vibe yet again. Coloring is spectacular. I had such a good time reading this book. It is over the top. It is crazy. It's, you know, full of fantasy, adventure, everything like that. Definitely check this one out if you haven't yet. All right, guys, that's everything I read this week. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know down below in the comments what you read and what your favorite books of the week were. While you're down there, like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification to be alerted whenever I put out new videos. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the comments.